chat box. That was so clever for me.
All right, we're live.
Okay, hi everybody. This is Sienna Lea, and I'm here with Laura Lee Mistycah, and we are going to do some deep dives into the behind the deep state energetic manipulations we're going through on a global and personal level, and what we can do about it. And I need to get my chat box live. Can you hold on, y'all? I mean, people are just kind of staggering here. Give me a minute. I'm a bad girl. I messed up. I didn't open the chat box. So I will do that now. And just let yourself have a little deep breath or two and get yourself present. And we will be starting momentarily. If some of you want to, oh, that was the BitChute video? No, that, oh boy. Okay, I'm working on it, y'all. I'm working on it.
I can't see anything either. It's blank, so.
This is the chat for you to read, and I select it, and I can go in here. We can cut this out at the end, or the beginning, or whatever. And well, I'm going to monitor the chat box, Laura Lee. You don't
Okay,
need to
you monitor it because yeah.
It keeps going to a BitChute video, so I can't even get into the chat box. So that's very amusing. So I'm not going to waste more time, and I'm going to ask Adrian to manage the chat box today. Would that be all right with you, Adrian?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
All right.
I can't
Take
see
two.
it. Okay. Oh, okay. Let's get started. Let's get this party rolling.
All right. Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
All right.
I can't see you. Okay. Oh.
Oh, wait a minute. Now I'm hearing myself.
I know. Pause the video. It'll be fine. Pause the video and then focus on the chat.
Hi, everybody. What's wrong?
Okay. All right. I can't see you. Okay. Oh.
Oh, wait a minute. Now I'm hearing myself.
I know. Pause the video. It'll be fine. Pause the video and then focus on the chat.
What's wrong?
You have to pause something on our
Pause the
end.
YouTube video and then focus on the chat. Ignore the YouTube video.
I can't see the chat, so it's not really working for me to. Hello?
Hello.
How are we doing now? Is that better? Okay, Adrian's monitoring the chat. We're good with that. And so, gee, we seem to be getting some strange Mercury retrograde AI interference. Us little people, why would anybody want to mess with us? There's the thunder and the lightning. Okay, well, they're kind of messing with everybody on the planet right now, aren't they? You're getting messed with big time, probably, if you're here even watching this. So today's show, we are going to try to ask the question, what the, as Laura Lee would say, Q. And I love
stands for quack.
I'm totally good with Q.
That stands for, so just so they know, I have ducks, and that stands for what the quack. Okay.
Okay. And for me, it stands what the Q. What if you really said what was one of the biggest problems facing all of us from a psychological level, it would be that we seem to, at least a good portion of us, seem to not know the difference between good and evil embodied in your face, in the media, in your world, in your psyche, with your boyfriend. We have actually lost the connection, the discernment to know the difference between corruption and purity. And this is what this is about, because we're going to take it, off world to the mind control that is keeping us in that state, to the curses and all that stuff. But first, Laura Lee has been having these incredible peak experiences about this topic. Now, before we bring you to Laura Lee, excuse me 1 minute, Laura Lee, I want to, for those of you who have no idea who the heck Sienna Lea or Laura Lee are, let me tell you a little bit about Laura Lee. Well, there's a lot to talk about. She started out, can I say what religion you were?
I'm no religion.
She started out, well, her human body started out in a very strict religion. And she had a huge process to break free of that, to get her own guidance, to get her own being back. And in the process, she's been talking to beings outside of this reality, which she calls hologram. And then I went and she, little by little, this is a short version, forgive me, Laura Lee, she became a ghostbuster. And she could start hearing, ghosts and clearing them and getting them out of spirit traps. And her superpowers are coming online like more and more every day. And for, I think, probably 20 years-ish, she has been on teams working to take out the sinister artificial intelligence and their management teams and networks and purveyors globally that are informing with huge frequency bombardment and many other tools that you would need the sickest sense of humor on the planet, which Laura Lee luckily has for all of our sake, to find out what the Q they're doing. And this is weird SH, okay? This is weird. Why is it weird? Because it's true. And the whole world is a lie. So when you start talking the truth, embodying the truth, showing some passion, showing some feeling, we're the freaks, we're the conspiracy, we're the crazy people. We've been that all our life. I don't have a problem with it, okay, you guys? Because really, if you stick around, you're going to see that this lady and myself, for years and years of warriorship and training and working with people, have broken some of the key codes in how to break free of this stuff. So with that said, that's enough. But we could talk a lot about many, many experiences. What I'm saying is we're not just jive artists talking out of our you-know-what and trying to con you into lies like so much of the world is. But you probably won't believe that until you hang out with us for a while. And you shouldn't believe it. You shouldn't believe anybody. You go for your own truth. That's what anybody who's authentic and real and not corrupt will let you, will encourage you. Being in their presence will open you to you. And everything else, I would gently walk out the door. All right, Laura Lee, I will be quiet now. Laura Lee has had several revelations. We're just doing this every week. We're going to work with y'all in the chat box and hang out. And we're getting, what do you call them? Revelations, flashes, updates, downloads daily, minute by minute, as the virus is being defeated, as the hologram is being reset. There are things going on behind the scenes that people are talking about. And they're the things that are really informing the outcome from invisible realms. So Laura Lee, Ghostbusters, incredible author of Kryahgenetics 1 and 2, counselor, a chicken rescue ranch farmer, mother, wife, and witch. You guys are lucky to have this lady around, let me tell you. Okay. You have no idea. All right, what's up? So what are we talking about here?
All right. Well, first of all, this has been a topic that has been chewing at me for a long, long time, and that is good and evil. And every religion teaches you that we have to have good and evil. I mean, the Taoists, it's like that good and evil is the balance and that we have to have it. Yes. Well, in that mindset, we're screwed. If we have to have evil here, we're screwed. What kind of baloney is that? Wow. And it has bothered me. And you see the Tao symbol and the yin and the yang, and every religion teaches that you have to have that it's the evil that helps the good with their jobs. It's like you need evil so you can grow. How many times have we heard that stuff?
Forever. The nature of 3D is polarity. And part of it is
guys are really playing the role of bad guys to help us grow. Okay, To me, that's just baloney. That's just total bull caca. Okay, that's total doo-doo. Okay.
That's a huge, wait a minute now, that's a huge belief that many in our community do share. You don't think that this huge war isn't building strength in you, and that it
Yes,
isn't in some way the hero's journey, but it's not, but they take it, I think there's truth in that, but they're taking it way out of balance.
Exactly. Yes, it toughens it up, but that's not, it's like, you know, they say, oh, well, it's a white hat and he puts on a black hat to play that role so you can get education. And it's like, well, that could happen, but that's not what's happening here. It is not. And this this idea that keeps perpetuating that we have to have good and evil. It's part of the light. You have to have the dark to define the light. Okay, yes. But evil, you know, we can have day and night. Those are opposites. We can have male and female. Those are opposites. We can have sweet and sour. Those are opposites. But evil is not supposed to be an aspect of that. And then I got this message from Hal that said, true balance, you know, if you want to have true balance, it's the absence of evil.
Wow, wait, let us just,
now just
you say that a couple times, let it just land in us. Yeah.
True balance is the absence of evil.
And you can't do squat without being in balance. I mean, in this energetic, with all of the sickness and insanity hurling everywhere, if you can't find the balance point, you're done.
So understanding, okay, if you're trying to get balance, you have to go in and pluck out the evil aspect of everything that's going on, and then everything will come into perfect balance. You know, it's like, you know, it'll ebb and it'll flow. Instead of going like this, that's how it's now. You know, this is what we think balance is because of evil. The aspect of evil in the hologram screwed the whole thing up. So what our jobs are is to pluck out and eliminate evil in the hologram. Then everything will come back into balance. And until we do that, until we abolish and obliterate evil, it's just going to be like this for eternity.
And of course, now they've added that clever layer where we can't distinguish good and evil because, I'm just going to throw this in really fast, we'll go deeper later, because the creepsters, and this is in your book, Kryahgenetics 2, the creepsters, and these are the ones that took after the dark feminine when she was taken out. And they are the really, really, really nasty gangsters that are completely self-centered, that will do anything to get off on torture, really don't have a problem. As a matter of fact, the more torturing they are of you, the happier they are. We don't understand these beings, but they have created a spell called glamour, which is a spell on humanity that makes you look at the authentic people as dangerous and scary and wrong. And the fake people, the people that are mimicking the reals as the real ones and worship them, and they have huge followings and make huge fortunes. And masses of people are just now, in this time frame, this is where we're at as a human race, we're getting that lesson between what is purity and what is corruption. And we got it backwards. Probably at least half of us, maybe 3/4 of us, literally not just get it backwards, but are clinging on to that vision for dear death, and will fight other people, even kill other people to cling on to that vision. So this is a really, really important discussion we're having. Okay, go ahead, Laura Lee.
Okay, so as you're talking about purity, purity is okay. when
Is
you
that
think
when
of
you never
purity,
have sex and you only lock yourself in a cell and talk to Jehovah? Then am I pure?
that's what they want you to think.
Real? No, but that's what they all want us to think. That was when I was a good girl, and I was like that.
So purity,
Sorry.
our image of purity is weak and wimpy. It's like if you're pure, you're vulnerable. Purity is vulnerable, and so they put this. You know, it's like, oh, she's so pure, we have to put her over here because if you go like that, she'll fall over. That's
Right.
the perception we have. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me tell you what purity really is. Back in the ultraviolet realm, outside the hologram, there was a realm. And I just found this stuff out like recently, like really recently, called the diamond realm. That was I'm trying to think of the right word, the creator and producer of several purity realms. So we've got this big diamond realm, and it has these other realms in it of purity, different kinds and breeds of purity realms. So we got a big realm with other different aspects and different modalities of purity. Okay. Now this diamond realm is strong. You think of a diamond. Diamonds are strong. They're tough. They're diamonds are forever. You know, that kind of thing. It's like now this is totally different than crystals. Okay. Diamonds and crystals are two different animals. So don't even get in your head that it's like a crystal. It's not. It's got way different aspects to it. But diamonds are and things the diamond realm produced were strong. They were impermeable. They were intelligent. They were wise. They were okay, I got to tell you something. You know, in the cryogenics egg, what's at the bottom of the egg? What's in the bottom of the egg? A diamond. A diamond. And for those of you that don't know this, I had channeled that egg, and when I did, I knew that diamond was really important. And so I just perfected it. In fact, let me get a picture. Okay, this was in Kryahgenetics 1. Now down here, there was a diamond. Originally, there was a diamond. Somehow it changed to a dot. Okay, and when I figured this out, I have this fuzzy blanket that you can buy on my website that has this egg, and it says Kryahgenetics on it. And I went over to it, and I thought, that kind of doesn't look like a diamond. So I went and brushed it and changed the nap because it's fuzzy. And I'm like, what? That looks like a circle, not a diamond. What the heck? So I go in and I look and I grab my book. I'm like, what is going on here? This this is not right. I didn't do that. And I thought, you're just getting Alzheimer's and you just don't know what you're doing. That's what they were trying to tell me. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. So I got my original one. Let me see if I hold on a second. I'll get that.
I love that ultraviolet robe you're wearing. You must have your UV light on because it's just, the light is just pouring off of it. It's beautiful.
Well, I've got a UV light on it, so that helps.
Oh, that's really good energy.
So this is the original one, and you can see the diamond. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm freaking out. I am like totally freaking out. Then I find out that I went through all my pages and anything that had pictures of the egg on it. And way back at the time of this, when I went through some pictures that we were doing for advertising for this book, some of them had a dot. And I'm like, holy crap, how can, and you know, back then I didn't even know about the Mandela effect. This was like 20 years ago.
Oh, okay. Because I'm thinking, well, it just sounds like the Mandela effect. Now
Yeah,
we're all
well,
familiar
20
with it.
years ago, nobody knew about the Mandela effect.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. All right. We'll have to release that trauma.
So something was switching back and forth. And then I found out, Hal said, not to worry. When the diamond spins, and it spins like a gyroscope,
Yeah.
when it spins and goes like this and spins this way and that way, it turns into a circle. I'm like, phew. I thought I was going to have to recall all the books. I mean, I was sick inside. I was like really upset.
So what's with this diamond and why are we talking about it in regards to purity?
Okay, well,
I gotta
purity.
get to the punchline. I'm sorry.
All right. We're going to go down this rabbit hole. Okay. So in the diamond realm, that's where the egg was created.
Oh, really?
Yes, I found that out today.
From back home?
Yes.
The diamond realm back
Yes.
home.
And the Empress was part of the creation, and they went into the diamond realm. And that's why the Kryahgenetics egg is so freaking tough and smart and impermeable, because it came from the diamond realm, okay?
Wow.
Where purity is, okay? That the diamond realm is creates all of these different types of purity, okay? So this has it all, because it has the diamond.
What kind of different kinds of purity are there?
Okay, there's
got my ears perked. All these different realms of purity. Yeah.
I'm just understanding this. Okay, this is new stuff. I mean, like, I don't know, a few hours old. Okay, I don't know.
That's what we're doing every Sunday. We're getting new stuff right now, and that because we're getting new stuff because we're co-creating this with beings outside the hologram. That's so that we are. This correction is in the here and now. So that's how it happens. So thank you so much. So it's hard when you just get something and then have to present it. It's a little.
I know.
You need to be.
I know.
Diamond.
I know that there are different. It's like different breeds. Now, this is what I found out 2 days ago. That if we, if we embody light, that's really good. But purity, the diamond purity, trumps light. It trumps everything. Diamond purity trumps it all. It's the strongest, it's the smartest, it's the most all-encompassing. It's like it's the top of the food chain. So
for all those people who want to ascend, you better get your purity on.
You better get your purity on now. Okay, so you say, how do I up my purity quotient, right? Okay.
Good question.
Now, some people are going to be a little challenged with this, and I understand that. And just understand, there's no judgment. Whatever you want to do is your journey. Is your, you've got your own work to do. You've got your own guidance. You're gonna have to go inside to decide how much of what I'm about to say you want to take in and apply, okay? So just know I'm not pointing fingers, I'm not judging, okay? What I found out maybe 5 days ago, okay, what we take into our bodies will make it so we can either get more purity in and around to work with, or less. So it's like if we eat good food, non-GMO, you know, cut down the sugar, and do things like that, and cut out things like alcohol. I know, and everybody's going, oh, but you know, it's like, you can do whatever you want, okay? But alcohol, and we know from ghost busting, when you drink alcohol, it lowers your frequencies so that people, you're easier access. That's when people get shove-ins, is when they're in bars getting drunk, okay?
Or taking other drugs, of which there
Or
are
taking
myriad to
other
choose from.
drugs, yes.
Even in
and-
the pursuit of enlightenment, even plant medicine.
Exactly. And you got to be really careful with that, because you can get tripped up. And, you know, it's like, okay, so you do it once and you go, okay, for instance, long time ago, like 20 some odd years ago, when I was with that shaman guy, he did shrooms, and I have never done anything like that. You know, I'm just like, I've never tried any kind of drug.
That's just because you're already in the zone. Some of us need to break through some of this BS to get there, dear. I don't mean you're
So
perfect, but
let me tell you.
okay.
So I took these shrooms, and I didn't know what I was doing. Nobody educated me. And I sat there, and then I started seeing like auras and things, and seeing just like other dimensions. And I started to laugh, and I said, that's what this is? I know those places. I've been there. I've been there, done that. But not on this physical. It's like my memory banks went back to other times and places. I'm like, oh yeah, this is just like normal and natural. These other realms and things that I'm seeing, yeah. Well, then things kind of got bad after that. My husband at the time wanted me to go outside. I was cold. I didn't want to do that. I was just like looking at all these amazing things. So he got mad. He went down in his office and was, I don't know what he was doing. He left me up there alone. Well, all of a sudden things started getting really not okay. Now, for one thing, I took these shrooms on an empty stomach. Okay, I didn't know, you know. So it really affected me.
No, you're supposed to take plant medicine on empty stomach, but
Well,
you get really knocked out. I mean, that's powerful.
Yes. Your first time, I don't know. So here I am alone. Then there was something that it started getting kind of funky and dark and scary. And then there were these beings that were after me that, and they were trying to pull me down into this non-vibration state. Okay. Ugh. It's like, if you don't vibrate, you don't exist. And they were trying to pull me down into this. And now I know it was the D-monster and her evil entourage that were trying to do that. And then I started getting sleepy, and I go, oh, I'm so tired. And every time I close my eyes, I go, ooh, and go down into this horrible, horrible, non-existent place. And I thought, oh my gosh. So I'm like this, trying to keep myself awake. And I went down and said to my husband, I said, something's not right. I don't know what's going on. And he says, well, here. And he put this scratchy wool blanket on me. And I'm like, I just couldn't stand the prickles of this blanket. And I said, no, I can't have that. And then he pulls it off and he says, you never did like my Native American stuff, blah, 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 blah. And he starts ranting on me. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, I just got to get out of here. I can't take this.
Oh, no.
So I go back upstairs and I'm just like, doing this. He didn't tell me, go eat something and you'll
Come right down. Yeah.
Yeah, he was just being a doo-doo head. So, and that's been a long time ago. This is like 25, almost 28 years ago or something. So my husband now wasn't that husband. Okay, I've had 3 of them. So just so you know,
What are you doing to these
my
guys?
old husband, husband number 2. So, so I went to bed and I'm just trying to stay awake. And then finally my husband came into bed and he wanted to get frisky. And I'm like, well, at least it'll keep me awake. I really am not in the mood, but at least it'll keep me awake. So then after that, I'm just like, it had been like maybe 5 or 6 hours. And so it was kind of starting to wear off. And I was holding my rocks and I'm like, Hal, you got to get me through this. You got to get me through this. You got to get me through this. I did get through it. And then I started putting the pieces together about what was really going on. And so that experience gave me 2 valuable things. One is I already know what goes on in the drug realm. It came to me like that. It was like, I've been here. I know all about this place.
Well, what goes on in the drug reel? Then tell us.
Some really cool, well, some things, are really magical and cool. It's like you can see a different reality.
Yeah, some people are breaking out of the matrix. I mean, people
Yes.
swear by it,
Exactly.
And it breaks out of the ego and it takes them out of the cage where they're so mind controlled and stuck with no energy flowing, and it blows the walls out. But then it creates these other issues you're talking about. I just want to clarify that.
Exactly.
I'm in Ecuador, and this is, Plant Medicine Central.
Yes.
And that people come from all over the world. There are millions, maybe millions and millions of young, beautiful indigos and star seeds that just want to crack out of this prison, which I totally get. And they are going into these ceremonies. And what's happening to them, Laura Lee? What did you get about
Well, some of them are useful, but they get addicting. You have to understand that all you need to do is see it and then go, okay, duly noted. And you can create your own. It's like you have it up here and you have it up here. You don't have to keep taking plants over and over and over and over and over to get to those places. You can do it on your own. If you keep taking the plants, it's like a crutch. And so.
And you get implanted and you get taken over, and a lot of shove-ins come in because you drop frequency at the end. When you start coming down, you have no control of your field. There's holes in your aura and you're a mess. You're a complete energetic wreck and a lower density wreck. And then they just suck into you. That's been my experience. You might have had the most divine experience of breaking out into dimensions. You might change your life forever, the good part, because I took a lot of acid. And it totally changed my life. It was brutal, and I'm sure I really destroyed myself in a lot of ways. But at that point, I just had to find the exit door. And a lot of people are looking for the exit door. So this is a really important discussion that right now about that. And so go ahead.
Okay. So, and I'm glad that you're bringing this up, because it's, it's like a double-edged sword, and you've got to be able to choose how much of that sword, or which side of the sword you want to have in your life from now and in the future. It's like you get the goods, you got the intel, then you can move on to the next level. Okay.
Well, and I do want to just do my little 30-second pitch here that Rise Multiversity happens to be a place with a lot of old acid heads like Sienna Lea. No, not a lot. Me, I created it, and created processes over 50 years. And Laura Lee has created processes over I don't know, 30 years, 20 years. I don't know. She ain't as old as me. Anyway, to take you step by step, experientially, so that you can get that beautiful purity and that core star going and be protected and be empowered, understand exactly what we're fighting and become true warriors and you do end up going to all kinds of multi-dimensions, but you don't need drugs to do it, because these process, we both had amazing guides, on-world, off-world teachers have just come and shown us this stuff. And I don't think it's anywhere else. We get a lot of glamour on us. We look like the crazy, witch and the redhead. I don't know, stay away from them. And I'm just too old and been through too much to not just be me. So I know it's hard to take, y'all, but I hope you can get used to it. So where are we going from here, Laura Lee? Back to corruption and purity, or out of the drug
back to purity. Okay, we just got this ball rolling. Okay, so when you take medications, self-medications, the things that you eat. Now, let me tell you something. When you eat meat, you are eating a blood sacrifice. For the most part, you're eating all sorts of chemicals. You're eating adrenochrome. You're eating.
That's if they've been tortured and chemicalized. Laura Lee, I really feel you need to frame this as that this is what you believe, because there are people that I think can achieve purity if they, have a right relationship, because that's a part of what this hologram had for us. And I actually don't share this belief with you. But
okay, that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah. I just because this is a real trip switch. I like if I could agree with, and then you start telling me I can't eat meat, I'm out of here.
Okay, and the thing is, I have an O blood type, and I'm supposed to require it more than other blood types. Okay, so, and I don't eat meat. And so, and I understand, Sienna, and there's a lot of really nice people that eat meat. I get that.
Me included.
Yes, I get that.
And so I never get in a foul mood. Never.
That's right. Yeah. Look at her face. Right. So just kind of go zen for a minute and just listen to what I have to say. When you eat an animal that it's a blood sacrifice, then that energy goes into your body, it goes into your cells, it goes into your nervous system, it goes into your brain. You've got adrenochrome running through your brain, and it's hard to think straight. Now, if you want to, and it's all up to you, but if you want to access these higher levels of purity from the diamond realm, you cannot get there when you have constant influx of meat running through your body from animals that have been tortured. And then people will say, and I know you're going to say this, well, what about plants? They're tortured. You kill them, blah, blah. I have thought about this for several years. And I've talked to the plants. And then just recently, I was working with another lady who is now just saying, no, thank you. It's like, okay, we got this meat thing going on, and I thought I had to have it, but you know what? I'm just getting rid of it. I'm just going to experiment with this. So plants are a different life form. They actually, it doesn't hurt them. If you I went out and cut some beets, and I heard them say, oh, goody, she picked me. I'm like, really? And I have a friend that says she goes to the grocery store and talks to the plants and, and the vegetables. And when one of them said, you know what, I'm labeled organic, but I'm really not. They lied. So why don't you pick that guy over there, because he's really organic. And plants have a different consciousness, and they don't bleed. Things that bleed seem to be what they have been trying to do to get us to lower our frequencies and our it does something to your brain. It changes things in your brain. So with plants, and trees. Now trees, I wouldn't eat a tree. They're a different life form. But if a tree drops a nut, the tree's just fine. It's like, go ahead and have the nut. Whenever I have to chop a tree down on my property, I talk to it and I say, okay, we're about to chop you down. So you go to that big old tree over there and you cohabitate with him. And you don't have to be here for this experience. But these limbs are going to come down, and I've got to cut this tree down. So, communicate with your plants, communicate with everything around you, and it's going to change your head. You're going to see that animals and plants are truly different life forms, and plants actually want to come into our bodies because they know that it elevates us and makes us more impermeable to the assholes that are trying to come in and infiltrate us.
That was your point, right? Not about this whole meat thing, but about the pain in the body and how we're getting not able to hold the frequency because of all the pain. It's not all about meat, is it?
No, you're exactly right, because what meat will do is cause more pain in your body. And, all I can say is just experiment with it. If you think I'm full of crap, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. But what I would like to do is just present this and say, okay, experiment with it. See what you think. See the before and after. And I know there's a lot of people that say, I have to have the iron, I have to have this, I have to have that. Well, there's other methods of getting iron besides meat. And a lot of plants are very, very high in minerals and iron, like alfalfa is really high in all of those things, calcium. So just kind of think about this, because what the big agenda is now is to make us sick any way they can.
But they're doing it way more than just eating some meat every now and again. I mean,
I'm
GMOs, the
every way.
pesticides.
Every way.
Come on.
We're getting bombarded. They're between aerosols and they're trying to make us sick. Okay, so my premise is, okay, do everything that you can to keep your avatar here in as good a shape as you possibly can. And what you'll find is that things that you used to crave that weren't good for you, after a while, you don't want them. I mean, I haven't had chocolate for a long time. Chocolate, real high sugared chocolate that I used to be like so addicted to. It's like, I don't care. So the thing is, once you start embodying this diamond purity, it changes you. It changes you on a molecular state. And then it enables you to go to the next level and the next level and the next level with more ease. Now, I'm not saying that if you eat meat, you could never get there. You can, but it's really hard. And some of these higher diamond frequencies, it's higher purity. When you have poisons in your system, you can't get there. You can't. It vibrates at such a high vibration.
Well, I think that people can have a relationship with animals at times, and I think some bodies absolutely do need meat. And my brain has been so much better. I mean, I'm on a ketogenic diet, completely opposite to yours, and I'm going through this expansion and ascension process. And I'm not saying that at some point I might agree with you. At some point I might have to do it, but to think that I have to do that.
And
I think there's I think that the emotional toxicity, I think that the lies and the corruption that we embody, I think the forced agreements and the contracts we make with evil, I think the subpersonalities and the part of us that are complicit in our egos and in the shadows we carry are super impact our corruption valence.
I agree.
That's
I
the
agree
work
with
that I do, is help people
I
through
agree.
clearing all of that. And if they continue to, I mean, I eat way less and less meat. I'm not at all attracted to meat. I'm mainly eating the coconut oils and all the great fats and vegetables and some, but every now and then it does feel like it's phasing out. But I don't want to guilt myself. There's such a damn war with the vegans. I mean, they made it into fascism, and so it freaks me out when you say I can't ascend if I don't give up meat. I don't want to hear that. I think it's bullshit, to tell you the truth. And I think anybody can, if that's you make closure and make a relationship with the things that you have to do that may not be what you even want to do, because your DNA, which may have reptilian DNA, and until that's all cleared out and upgraded, you may have to feed that beast now and again.
I agree.
When it's so different.
All
right, I just want to clarify that, because I have huge triggers, and a lot of us have huge triggers. To me, that's like spiritual dogma. Like, you can't eat me, you can't ascend. That's how this game is played. And I just want to run away.
I'm not talking about ascension. I'm talking about.
Well, you're talking about raising frequency. Well, you're talking about the true ascension.
I'm talking about being able to collaborate with purity at its highest levels. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and it is a process. It's like I said in the beginning.
Maybe we don't want to be in a total state of purity in a world that has been turned on by the darkest evil in the omniverse. Maybe it's impossible to manifest that level of purity until we clean it up more and more, and then we can clean more and more, and we won't even need the shielding and the lower frequency to endure the shitstorm that we're living in here. But you see people that are totally pure, and you never leave your land. You have to lock yourself in your house. You can't endure reality.
Once you start achieving these levels of being able to interact and collaborate with purity, you get stronger and tougher and stronger and smarter and tougher. And so I agree with Sienna that we do need, it's an individual thing, and maybe Sienna is in a place where this is what she needs to do right now, and that's just fine. I'm not condemning anybody, because I know that, like Sienna said, we've got this crap storm of everything going on, and we have to do this and then this and then this and then this. Everybody's methods are different, and there's no judgment. There's none, because those who are taking out the implants and the forced agreements and stuff, yeah, that is vital, because if you don't do that, you're still running off of their programs that are telling you what you can do and what you can't do all the time. So you can't get a hold of your control panel while you've got these programs running. So I'm in total agreement with you, Sienna.
Corruption is so huge here. Yeah, well, anyway, I want to get back to the creep, because I think that once you see, we won't be a frequency match for perhaps, maybe, eating meat, eating blood. Because when you say, I would never kill one. If I probably die before I kill one. So it's totally hypocrisy that I still eat it. But what I'm saying is that that if you're completely believing that a pedophile and a global criminal should lead our country, that you really feel it and you're fighting for it, you're in the streets lying, you're defending your enslaver, you're defending your handler, you've all got Stockholm syndrome, and you're running after the next torture like it is your redeemer, and your savers are your torturers. It's all so twisted. We are so psychologically ill. I think that is the first toxicity that has to be removed.
Yes.
That's why I've created the course out of quantum disentanglement. And this thing, but we at least have to have a standard, a goal. And that's what you're showing, you know, and many of us have gotten to the place of wanting to return to our purity, to our true hearts, and our authenticity is calling many of us, but it's so mind controlled. It's by these assholes that because, like, you know, anybody who's been MK'd, when one of those altars kicks in, you totally believe it. You just go kill that thing. And I know more. This is true for everybody, and we're all not in MK. But mind control is mind control.
It is, and just that we have this perception that purity is weak and wimpy and has to be protected. You know, it's like you always have to protect your purity, when in reality, it's the strongest, toughest, smartest element we have here. And
so the new age purity with all the yoginis and the tantrakinis in their beautiful clothes, dancing on the beach, and they all just want to be, I mean, I totally dig it. I mean, right, you know, they just want to be with the dolphins and play with the fairies, and that's not purity.
That is, it's almost like a counterfeit, because they don't understand the strength and the power in purity. It's like they're trying to get from here to here and miss all the steps in between. So they just pretend to be pure when they don't have a clue what purity is and means.
You know, I just had a flash that, and I know we don't like to get political, but at this point it's all one. And, you know, people hate Donald Trump. They hate him. And because, you know, he's president, he's supposed to have the purity archetype, right? And he doesn't. He said, these businessmen down, let's get real here, people. You are fake news. I happen to be calm. I'm a human being, just down and dirty. Even sometimes I swear, and you're fake news, and get out of my face. And you're a liar. And yeah, they should lock you up. And he's just calling it. And people are going, I have to leave the country. I have to leave the world. He's literally somebody who's just telling it like it is reacting that level of freak out in millions of people. What is that?
Well, I think a lot of it is
because he is coming on with the strength of divine masculine purity in my book by being that guy, Mr. Orange. And he is just pushing buttons because he's strong. What I'm trying to get at is he is strong, and people hate it who don't get that they're really being helped by it. Now, more and more people are waking. We're right in that moment. People are going, wait a minute, I just got my job back. Wait, she saved our school. Like, wait a minute, I thought that guy was an asshole. Oh my God. And then suddenly they're seeing this huge heart and this huge strength, and but it's really like coming out of a spell.
Exactly. I concur. It's with all the glamours and things. One of the things that the creepsters do also to try to cause chaos is put glamours on nice people and the real truth tellers, and make them look like assholes. Make them look like they've got make them look like evil incarnate that you need to stay the hell away from, or that because they're taking you down. So again, it makes the good people look bad and the bad people look good. And that's
what's playing out on the world stage. So can I read this when you're...
Yes, go ahead.
It's just like this one paragraph out of Kryahgenetics. Kryahgenetics 2 just came out. It's on the Rise Multiversity.org website. Hint, hint. Go support Rise. Keep us going. We're just getting started. We're so needed now. Okay, so it's the creepsters chapter. Evil twins, thing number 1. And I'm not going to read this whole thing, but I'll read the beginning because we're saying creepsters and people are going, what? You know, who are they? Finding about these creepsters, of what their gig is, and has been a huge game changer. This is from her book. She's read it. She's the researcher. Her team is doing this stuff. This is from direct experience. We're getting it from the chicken's mouth. Basically, they embody and perpetuate profound evil and deception, and then devise magical methods to make it replicate and run amok. Welcome to 2020. As a bonus, they have been doing it behind the curtain to keep their identity cloaked so they can wield even more power, control, and exponentially spread more corruption throughout the hologram. Their best and favorite skill is putting glamour, changing the way something appears, on things that can really mess you up. Anybody getting any ahas here? To give you a better background in their profile and history, then you got to get the chapter then and read more about this. But yeah, so how does this work? These creepsters are extremely good at making one of their crew look and sound like our spirit guides. Oh, that happens so much. But I'm talking to my archangel, and he's helped me through my entire life. It's really hard to have that shadow session with, no, you're not. Talking to a creepster, sorry. But we got some good guys for you to talk to. Hang on. There seems to be ways of detecting this, as the resonance is not exact. Their normal spirit glamour is about 90% as good as the original. After talking to these counterfeits for a while, they give themselves away. But most people don't do that. They hear a message from someone that looks and feels a bit like their guide, or the guide even tells them who they are, which they really aren't. There are gazillions of glamour beings created by both, all through the hologram. So we're in trouble. We're in deep trouble, Laura Lee. What do we do?
Well, the good news is at least we know about the creepsters. Had we not known about them, we would just keep going on our, tumbling and falling and falling. And the creepsters, like you said, the creepsters have been located and exterminated, but we just found some of their kids, and you go to the top of the food chain, and then you have to go, down the ladder.
This is really interesting, and I know you don't want to give away all of your witchy magic here, but people don't realize that at all, and it's something that they really need to get, how tricky these implants and the courting and the contracts and the forced agreements and the entities, and when they're masters, what would you call it? The lock and key system, booby traps, just like these psycho geniuses of torture that are creating all these tools and devices and implants, and nobody would ever go this deep because, first of all, it's a ton of work. And you're getting hammered the whole time. They're trying to attack you and take you out before you get to where you take them out. And you go into battle, like, I don't know, every week 2 or 3 times. And you've been doing it for 20 years. So that's why I honor and respect you in this area. And we just don't know about it. So that's why I'm really looking forward to these talks every Sunday, where you can start, sharing more stories about these creepsters. So where do we go from here? And all the other stuff that you've discovered, because why? Because it'll help us look where we're not looking. That's the trick. Because we all have these, oh no, it's this way, or no, I believe this spiritual teacher, I was taught to remove the chakras that way, or I'm not removing my chakras, what the heck? And we all hold on to the things that we've been holding on to, because without it, it feels like we're gonna fall and never stop. We're this terrifying time we're living in. We're holding on to beliefs, false teachings, lies, false teachers, sick people, and they denied us what we really need, which is our connection to love, and our connection to home, and our connection to ourselves, to this huge reservoir of authenticity that they've made evil on this planet, where we have to shut ourselves down because they tell us we're the corrupt ones, we're the sinners. We need these ETs to come tell us they're evolved. We're practically monkeys, which we're starting to look like more and more by the minute. If you're watching the news. I don't know. What do we do? It's an hour now. We're at an hour. I need to be done.
So what I would recommend is that And just know I get these too. You know, I'm not immune from getting creepsterized. You know, they still try to, like, every day. Like, I think I've said, screw you losers, maybe 12 times today.
Well, they were so pissed about this thing. I've been tortured for all morning.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah,
just,
yeah.
oh, I could feel them right there. Like, you're going to do what on YouTube? They've taken off everybody. We might get this through because they don't know who the heck these crazy witches are. What are they talking about? Oh, I think that this is a threat. Not yet, not yet. And there's a whole section devoted to healing AI and loving AI and evolving with the good AI, which is maybe what, a half of a percent. I don't know, but we're not saying AI bad. We're not. We are saying most of AI, bye-bye. Yes, because why? Because it's been programmed by the evil ones. And so I think AI was neutral originally, or do you think that
No, it
it was
was.
neutral and they programmed it for their agenda? But let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater, but also then the people to think that way, like, I'm just going to embrace AI. And thank you so much for teaching me that there is actually a heartless machine that wants to kill me and my family and everything I've ever built and loved. And, you know, like, that's going to be, there is that all loving it all, understanding it all, but these mofos are going after your family, your bank account, your house, your land, your life. They will get you if you're dumb enough to just lay there and open your arms and think that you forgiving them is going to get the job done. So in that way, I totally see what you're doing here, Laura Lee.
You make me laugh.
That's the idea. That's the idea. So what do we do? What do we do, Laura Lee? Can you be our next guru? Who's hell? I need to worship him now.
In the book, Kryahgenetics 2, I would highly recommend that because it gives you tools that you won't find anywhere else. And one of them is the Screw You Loser, Up Yours Loser protocol. And what that does.
I'm sorry. Do you know how funny that sounds?
I know, I love it.
You say it like a school teacher.
Your children, let me tell you.
Your Screw You Loser protocol for the day.
Today's lesson is a Screw You Loser protocol.
Perfect. That's right.
What it does is it sends cryogenetics eggs with the star, and it starts to spin and spin and spin and spin really fast. And it goes, zooms out to whoever this asshole was that was on your tail trying to lie to you and mess with you, drills into them and puts truth and justice juice in them.
That sounds horrible. How could you be so cruel?
Well, it's just what I do.
Truth and justice juice. You evil witch.
Now, the Up Yours Loser sends eggs up the food chain to their bosses and their bosses' bosses and drills into them and puts truth and justice juice in them too. And I tell you what, you will feel better in seconds. Okay. Now you cannot say F you loser. F. You cannot.
You mean fuck you? We shouldn't say fuck you, loser. That doesn't work.
No, because
right.
what
You won't even say it.
I won't even say it. Because that one word is designed to lower your frequencies. And I'm working on another book called The Anatomy of the Porn Vibration, what they didn't teach you in Sunday school. Hopefully that'll be out in the next few weeks. Okay, it's just a short little book, but boy, it's impacting. And the word, the F word, I don't like to say it because when you say it, it just like, it just drops you.
I don't know. I feel great when it's really called for. It's kind of a good piece of meat, Laura Lee. There's some of us who just feel great saying it.
There's other things that could make you feel just as good. You can say whatever you want.
I've actually tried to.
You can say whatever you want. Just consider that the F word has been so controlled and so it's got a lot of mojo on it. Okay. So when you say it and you call it up, you're calling up that bad mojo. Okay. So
yeah, that's what magic is, words.
It is. It's bad mojo. So when you're saying screw you, this literally turns into a screw. Okay. So it's a totally different game, a totally different animal. Okay.
Okay, but wait a minute, because there are new people that are looking, what the heck? You saying, what the heck is that? What that is, you got to go to risemultiversity.org, then to Laura Lee, then to her shop, which is at First Wave Indigos, or just go to First. Anyway, she's got these rocks, these Kryahgenetics. This is a big one. I don't usually come those big. These are the rocks that are made in the diamond realm that are incredible friends. I've been working with them for a year. Oh my goodness. She's been working with them for many, many years. They're very powerful tools to help us in many ways. You don't have to believe it. You might want to just try them out. They create the eggs, and it's a whole system.
They're the stone of truth and justice. And if you go to my website, you will see all of the amazing places. We have grids on towns and buildings all over the world. And we even have one on the North and South Pole. Once that was placed in, things started to shift really, really fast. And it's just kind of comforting to know that these guys are doing their job all over the world. And now these are different than like a crystal. They do not want you to just sit them on your shelf and look pretty. They want to be used. They want to go with you. They want to be in your pocket. They want to be with you, and they want you to use them. And what you do when you use these rocks is you collaborate with them. And what the rocks will do is amp up your abilities. So if you say, oh, I would really like this, or I need this, or help me with this, it amplifies your own intentions. So the rocks don't really do it. You do it. They give you the power to do what you need to do.
That's so important.
Okay? And they're good to talk to. Talking to them is awesome. They're real smart. Every time we take down assholes and like buildings and whole systems, we put all of the intel in these rocks, and they suck it up, and they have got tremendous information. If you need to, if you have some questions or something, pick up your rocks and start talking to them, and they have answers that are out of this world, literally.
Great.
And it's interesting. Most indigos, when they first get a rock, the first thing they want to do is suck on it, and they taste really good. You don't want to chew them, but they really do. And they smell kind of like a sidewalk after a rain, very clean and very organic-ish, very, very minerally. So yeah, these will be your besties. They're out of this world. They are not from here. They were snuck here to be uncovered. At this point in time, they were uncovered in about 1990, before because the year 2000 is when a lot of indigos started waking up or walking in. So these came in right before that to be there and available when a lot of the indigos were coming into their own and needing them to do their work. So these are our besties from home.
Okay. Laura Lee, maybe I'd like to do a little spiel about is that Jewish DNA, you guys? Sometimes it just pops out. Jewish spiel here. Okay, spiel about how to engage in this work with you and with me and with Rise. Let me just give the options, and then you can do a closing thing. But this is a little break. Let me do my spiel. Okay. So a lot of, so you can go through Rise to the mentor page, Laura Lee, First Wave Indigo. You click through, you can get the book. There are classes. Laura Lee has classes. the Knight's training that goes through a lot of what's in Kryahgenetics 1, a lot of the processes that she's been given by these through her greater being and through her greater being's friends in the realm, and Hal, wonderful Hal, and all of that. So it's all that's all there. And then she does private sessions. And then we'll be here every week. I mean, we're gonna have to do a Q&A here. We have people on a chat box. I'm assuming we haven't asked them a thing, but we'll get that in a minute. And then so I think, and then so she's got the course, she's got the book, she does private sessions. So that's all there. And then I have integrated multidimensional shadow work. So where we unpeel this corruption and bring in this hardcore essence by transforming the superego and the ego and shadow, the part of the corruption that we've made our own, and then we kind of don't notice it really, but it's totally sabotaging our life, whether we're sabotaging ourselves, whether we're sabotaging those we love, whether we're sabotaging the whole planet. It's that part that got embedded, and we have many ways, Laura Lee has many ways of addressing it, and I combine her methods and some other explorations I've done with some of my other mentors over many decades. So you just have to feel like some of you come and they go, oh, wait a minute, I got to talk to her. So just go to risemultiversity.org and then find your way to me, Laura Lee, or us together. We do joint sessions. Some of you will go at your own pace, just get our courses. I have a go at your own pace course. You can just start diving into what is shadow and all that. So that we have actually a huge amount of resources for you. We love you so much. We've been building this for years. This is so the moment you need this stuff. So, you know, you can write to us every now and then. I'll do a free chat. If you're like so confused now, you can't figure out what the heck to do or where to go first, I will, you know, hang out with you and let's see if we can ground and sort things out. And so, yeah, we'll be here every Sunday because it's all evolving, and every minute and every week we're going to have updates for you. Okay, did I leave anything out? Is there anything more that we didn't get to that you wanted to cover here today, or anything that's coming to you now that we haven't said?
I'm good. I just don't know if there's questions from people in the chat.
Yeah,
I'm not seeing the chat, so I don't know.
Yeah, Adrian, are there any questions in the chat?
Not specifically, no. They're just chatting. They're just comments.
Oh, well, can we hear some of the comments?
Maybe we don't want to hear them.
Oh, all right, no question. Well, let's ask now. Y'all, you got us here. Would you like to say anything to us directly? Write it in the chat box now, and Adrian will read it, and we can talk to you.
That's right. And until then, I just want everybody to know that, you know, what I presented was just an idea to look at, you know, with purity. The important thing is to get your core star and stay. If you truly want to ground into your core star, okay, this is home. This is where home is for it. This is where this is where you get your information. This is where you feel warm and fuzzy. This is where you get stability. And again, one of the things that we talked about in one of the other ones, and one of the other shows, was when you feel really out of sync, go like this and rock back and forth slowly. Now this rocking, I don't remember if I told you, but it's like a waltz. It's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Whoa, I do that all the time. I've been doing that for years.
And what it does is it's like a pendulum that like brings you back into balance. Wow. And I first saw the egg doing this when we had rescued some ghosts. And they were extremely traumatized. They had been in some horrible place. And when I, you know, put them in the egg started just slowly rocking them like this. And they calmed down and it de-traumatized them. So when you feel like everything is just like freaking crazy if you can remember or even write a little sticky note on your computer or whatever to slowly rock and get your balance back. And you can do it forward and backward too. And that helps. And it just does. If you do it for like, even 15, 20 seconds, you go, oh, okay. And you can think better. It does something. I'm not sure exactly all the things that it does. I'm sure I will. Hal will probably tell me now. He just said to rock. And it does. It gets you back into that place of balance and
Flow and flow, energetic.
Yeah, it calms you down.
Trauma.
It really
shut down and frozen, autistic. So many people are just getting like frozen.
Exactly.
From the trauma, from the fear. Fear freezes you. It shuts everything down.
It does. And where you're going like this, right? I mean, you're just like chaos.
Or yeah, you're so out of control in a frenzy,
like,
and they're harvesting.
Let's get down. Let's get down to center, and this will really, really help. So if you can remember to do that through all the crazy that's going to be coming up this next week for everybody. Everybody has their own kind of crazy. I just kind of wanted to leave that with you.
That's really beautiful. And I want to leave something too, because I know a lot of people that will be watching will go, well, I'm not pure. I guess I'm not going to make it. There's some really bad stuff. I mean, I wrote my book, Stealing the Moon. It's a woman's quest to heal the shadow self, which you can go read and watch audiobook, Stealing the Moon. It's about somebody who's got me, basically, who had some really dark stuff in her. And I have to like build that love and let that dark one, be loved too. It's not like, oh God, I got to get rid of her because she's impure, because love is going to transmute all the darkness. Because we've been in duality. We have dark and light. We have to own it and bring it all in and love it all. It isn't that the power of I was going to say the dark crystal, but it's the diamond. That's the strength also to love. That doesn't mean that you permission the evil. Okay. Like, oh yeah, I have this part that hurts people. I'll just love it and let it keep doing that. No, because the whole lesson is we got to really get our derrieres into purity. We have to get there, but we're not going to shame ourselves or guilt ourselves or punish ourselves or torture ourselves to get there. And from all the people I work with, there are really deep patterns, cultural patterns, ancestral patterns, religious patterns, trauma-based, that the way to go is to punish us, to become a martyr. I mean, our great spiritual archetypes are what? He died for your sins. You die. You die for your sins. You die. Everybody die. Everyone wear the mask. Everybody lock yourself in your house. Everybody walk around as the living death. And then you're a good boy and a good girl. This is insanity. This is Orwell, 1984. We have to wake up and go, no, I do want to be a good person. I want to care about people. I don't want to get people sick. But the beings that have taken charge of this world was turned on by pure corruption. We're cleaning it now, but if we don't stand in the place of at least, not that we are going to be perfectly pure, or that the train's going to leave the station because our purity quotient isn't high enough. But, well, in another way, yeah, it is gonna. Okay, it is gonna. So we better get our derrieres on that train, and whatever it takes, at least admit, like, oh, I'm doing this. Oh, because we know we're all lying to ourselves, permissioning a system that is just living off of our negative low density to perpetuate pure evil. And so the first thing you have to go is, no, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm done. I'm not going to do it. But then you do have to do the inner work, whether it's quantum disentanglement, whether it's Kryahgenetics, whether it's, working with Chris Geo or George Cavassalis or Bernard Gunter. There are some great people. I can count them probably on both hands. But anyway, they're great people out there. Pick who you want. And you're going to need a little support at first. Okay, the shadow hides in your blind spot. You can go at your own pace and do it, and you're going to have to, and you're going to do it all yourself, but you're going to need a little support. And we got this way because they cut off the love connection, the real, just presence to presence. And that's one thing I really love about you, Laura Lee. Through thick and thin, you really do hold the purity I mean, you just, I don't know if one time we got in a fight, but I really had to prod you to get you there. But I mean, you're always hold that place. And at first, I was, well, she cannot be all that, but I know you really are. You hold that place and it lifts. It's the healing force itself, isn't it? It's the cure for all of humanity. It's the embodiment of their purity. And so it's a goal. I mean, it's my goal, but it's, I'm not there yet 100% by any means. I don't think any of us are.
Well, let me say something when you were talking about shadow. It's like picking it up by the back of the collar and shaking it off, shaking the crap off that caused it to be inappropriate or evil. So you shake all that crap off, get it cleaned up, and then it's like when we're doing timeline work, after it's all cleaned up, then you can bring it back home.
Yes.
And so it's not like it's not like you yourself was evil. You did something evil under a spell.
It's so important to realize that, because even though we have to take radical self-responsibility that now we're infected and we need to purge the infection and we need the detox because it is in our bodies, it wasn't our fault. This was done to us. A lot of therapies say, you got to get over victim mentality, which you do. Absolutely. but there is a point where you have to go, it's not my fault. This totally was engineered. And when you get the depth of what has been put in place to sabotage you and that you're even alive, kudos to you, brother and sister. You are a miracle that you even made it through. This place has been a living hell and a prison. And it's true, but we can't keep belly aching and think that somebody outside is going to fix it for us. That's the problem, because when you shift it, right, there's this huge alchemy that core star is a great sun of purification. It's going to burn it all. I mean, we are a part of this alchemical, diamond power, the power of life to burn what is killing it and destroying and corrupting it and rebirth the beauty and the glory. I mean, this is what we're talking about. Get in there with that powerhouse that you are and learn how to work it, or else you're going down with the ship, because the ship's going down. There are too many people asleep for the ship, for some of the ship not to be going down, but you don't have to.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's all of these tools and stuff that we're presenting are going to really, it's like bring you back home, bring you back to your core, bring you back to your memories of who you are and what you came here to do, and help wake up the neurons there to your X-Men abilities. And it's happening. I'm seeing it going exponentially for people, that they start throwing this crap out, and you have to clean out the closet so you know what you got in there. And so we are, and we're moving at light speed. I'm seeing things from indigos that I'm just jaw dropped at what they're able to do, and it keeps stepping up the pace like this. And so all of the things that I've said today will just help you step up that pace a lot quicker. And it's up to you how fast you want to go. And you got to clean on the way, clean out the lies and the deceptions. But now that you know that we do not need evil in this hologram to have balance. The balance is the absence of evil. And just knowing that, I mean, the first time when Al said that, I'm like, whoa, that is like so heavy. It's like, I have never heard any philosopher say that, ever. Have you, Sienna? Have you ever heard?
Well, I wouldn't say that I am a scholar and could quote you if any philosopher has ever, because they probably have. Several of the great ones have. I would thoroughly.
Have you ever heard it? Have you ever heard it?
Well, the ones that are transcendent,
Well, they just say we need to have.
Well, once that when we finally end this, we move into a state that's non-dual. There's a whole huge movement about non-dual, and that's where Ascension is going and 5G is going. But I don't know if they all say we had to be in this good and evil. Yeah, I guess probably it's like, yeah, we had to do this. This was a part of what we had to do, and now we're moving on. I think that would be the general word on the street, that we had to do this. And you're saying, no. Now they turned on the hologram with corruption, and that wasn't the intent, and that's what turned out. But no, maybe in the great, huge, big picture, yeah, we had to all go through this to learn this together. Yeah, but now the lesson is take those suckers out and pull it out of your body, and we're done. Okay, the lesson right now is we're done. How do we get done? And let's get done quickly. We've been in enough pain. We don't need more pain. We don't need more darkness. We just need to purge this stuff, but we need to do it intelligently. And we're so ignorant of how to do it because this is information and knowledge they never want us to have, is how do I get rid of this? Because then they lose you. So of course they're going to tell you black is white and good is bad. And then this whole, in the drug movement and the psychedelic movement and the plant medicine movement, even though many people have had light-changing peak experiences there, just really, they are so highly polluted and GMO'd and been taken over, including, all of them have been. So if you're highly discerning and you can, move that start, but you at least, but when your aura is blown out, you're fully exhausted, you're half in your body, you're half out, you aren't in charge of something shutting into you. You can't see it, you can't feel it, you're too exhausted, you're too blown out, and it's in there. It can hide for a year or two. And then it'll take over your control panel. It can be clever, and it can be from the shaman, and it can be from the guru who doesn't know that they jumped into him 30 years ago, and that he's really a harvest priest for these poor, innocent, very pure beings that are, coming to South America and risking their lives to blow this crap out of them. And then they get more and more junk in them. And please, I'm just saying, I know there are people that swear by this stuff, that it's changed their life. I know acid changed my life forever, but it was a living hell, and it damaged me for a lifetime as well. It really did.
Excellent. I appreciate what you said. And the thing is, it's like, you don't have to keep doing it over and over and over. It's like it becomes an addiction. It's like, you just do it once, and then you can go back here and get the next levels. You don't have to keep going to a guru.
It's on offer. Our divine birthright was to be high, was to be ecstatic, was to be in bliss, was purity would imply also the ability to create and generate and collaborate in a pure love state, which I'm assuming that's what happens back in the realm. I don't know if it does, Laura Lee, but I think that's where we all know we have the memory. We want to get there. It's our natural state. It was totally taken from us. And now it's totally being given back to us, exactly. But only for those who have eyes to see and want to work hard at their own growth and want to care a lot and be a really strong diamond purity warrior. And it's 24/7 people right now. You can't hide in your house. You can't hide behind your mask. You got to be I don't mean you're on the street hurting anyone either. I don't know what you got to do, but you got to start, you can feel it in here to ask, what am I supposed to do? And then you do it. And when you do it, it also lifts your purity quotient. I find doing this work lifts my frequency hugely. You step into service and you get an immediate reward. You get graduation into higher initiation, or whatever you want to call that, to this process. What do you call it, Laura Lee, when you get these higher numbers and with rapid, when you're at a higher frequency, but you call it something in the book. It's not enlightenment. You don't call it enlightenment.
No, I wouldn't call it that. I don't use that word.
But it's endless expansion, right? And growth and becoming self-mastery and your superpowers and more of all of the part of you got scattered through the hologram coming back. What
it does is help you take a quantum jump to the next level.
Okay.
And it shows this in Kryahgenetics 1. And then you'll go down a little bit while you're getting ready for the next jump, and then it'll go whoop. And then you go down a little bit, trying to get ready for the next jump, and you go whoop. So
and you keep whooping, right? Because we have to keep upping our game, because the dark ones are upping their game. This is not a static situation. You can't have security in the burbs and a nice job and be safe. You got to be a warrior, upping your game, or they're gonna, knock you down, kick you to the curb on the way to their next victim. This is a war. I mean, we don't look at it that way. We don't like it that way, but it is.
It's a war for minds, is what it is. And I have a website called warforminds.com. It doesn't have anything on it. I haven't had time because I've been working on other books. But what Hal said is, if they can get into your head, then they can get into everything, because you'll give it away. If they can control your mind, it's not a war for souls, is what Hal said. It's a war for minds, because if they can get into your mind, they can get you to give your soul away. So
yeah, and they're doing a very good job. Shall we go to questions? See if there are any questions, Laura Lee?
Okay, sure.
Adrian, did anybody have a question?
A while ago, yeah. I'll have to go through them, but yeah. If anyone wants to leave a question, just write it in now.
Well, or
we sort of said that, and then we talked, and then they probably went, whoa. Sorry, I couldn't get the chat to open, or I'll get that fixed by next week. So
the dialogue has moved on.
Okay, that's fine. Well, we can have those questions.
Someone did ask that if the rocks. Someone asked if the rocks can help with shadow work, and then there was another person that asked if the rocks can help with targeted individuals.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I do shadow work.
Absolutely.
And I use the rocks all the time, because you cannot, all of our shadows are profiled and targeted by all of this alien interference and AI interference. They're using your vulnerability, your pain, your torture, your weaknesses to trigger and replicate and echo endlessly your pain and suffering to harvest. They're living on it. So you can't do shadow work without untangling and these rocks and eggs and pulling all that out and doing the timeline. And Laura Lee's techniques are some of the best completion tools for shadow work I know about. But you also have to see what your shadows are. You can't clear something if you're not willing to look at them. So I'm real good at helping you see those. You might be able to help me see a few too, okay? But what about you, Laura Lee? How would you answer that question?
Yes, the rocks, let me tell you, these rocks have saved my life more than I can tell you, like literally. When I'd be in horrible traumas and I just hold them, and it's like they gave me the strength and the wherewithal to get out of the situations that I've been in. And I've been into some pretty stickery situations, like last week.
But they're not going to, it's not like you can just hold your rock and all your targeting is over. Okay, it's not like that.
No, they're the stone of truth, so you will get to the truth of the matter. So they help you cut through the bullshit to get to what's authentic and true. And that's what you want, if you want to get out of it.
Yeah, exactly. Anything else, Adrian?
No question specifically. There's just a lot of dialogue about what you
Everybody's talking. Everybody's having a good time in there. That's
all right.
Okay, well, I think we'd be done then. We'll see everybody next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Yeah, very cool.
Oh, that's 1960s Batman.
Cool. All right. Love you guys.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Catch you later. All right.